Let's make some hearts. Not just any hearts, snowflake hearts. You'll need scissors, something to draw with, and some paper. Also bring some big paper along. All right, how can we make these small pieces without really using a bunch of scissors? Take a regular sheet of paper, fold it. Now the important here is to really crease. So I rub back and forth a couple times. I also am going to turn it kind of inside out and fold the opposite direction. It kind of weakens the fold there. Now I could just kind of pull on that fold, but to be sure that I don't rip it because it's kind of big, I'm taking this ruler, laying it across the folded line. I'm pressing down and then I'm pulling towards the ruler. Say pulling towards the ruler. And I'm gently going to pull and it's going to slowly rip. Now it's going to be kind of a fuzzy edge, but that's okay. We don't need a perfect sheet. If you needed a perfect sheet, you might want to use scissors, but we don't need that. I'm going to make these smaller. Now, with smaller sheets, you may not need the ruler so much. So again, I'm going to crease it real, turn it the opposite way, crease it again. This time I'll just use my fingers, and I have to hold them right against the folded edge. And this time I'm pulling out the other direction, kind of away from it. All right, and I'm just slowly going to pull. And notice I'm moving my fingers to stay along the folded edge. I want a couple of these today. One of the reasons I'm showing you this is maybe you only have one sheet of paper to work with. Well, make sure you break it into smaller pieces so you can try several different hearts today. This is our goal, a snowflake heart. Now, perhaps you've cut hearts before, and I know we've done snowflakes. I thought we'd combine them for Valentine's Day. So first we need a heart. So this is a rectangular sheet of paper. It doesn't matter what direction you folded it. I did it horizontally. Once you fold it, you have an open edge and a folded edge. We need to work from the folded edge. So I need to draw a half a heart on here. A heart kind of goes up and then back down, right? Up towards the top and back down. So I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to use 2 fingers from the top of my paper and do a little dot. That makes sure I can have a decent hump on the top of my heart. And then I don't want it exactly on the bottom, no, because I might not get a good point. So I think I'll do 1 finger width up from the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to put a second dot. Now I'm going to take my time, but first I'm going to double check to make sure I'm on the fold, that I did everything right. So I'm just going to open it up. If your dots are on the center line, you're good. Refold it. If they're on the outside edge, you didn't put your dots on the center line. Okay, so from my dot, I'm going to go up towards the top and out towards the corner. I want to use all my paper. That's why I'm going all the way to the top, all the way corner, and then a straight diagonal line down. You'll do the best that way. When you're done, cut it out. Now, if you don't like it, just refold it and adjust, okay? So maybe your heart isn't round the first time. I just refolded it and trimmed a little bit off. Now, don't get rid of the scraps. Our paper is precious. If you can cut extra squares or rectangles out of your scraps, do so. And then use these tiny hearts later. It's the same process. I fold it. I drew a half a heart on the folded edge. And then check that out, a small heart. So don't throw out scraps. Use them. Okay, now I have my heart. I'm going to try to turn it into a snowflake heart. Okay, so watch carefully because I'm going to have issues with my lighting. I'm going to refold it. Then I'm going to bring the point up from the bottom and match it up to the initial part of my hump, where actually the dot is from before. Then I am going to flip my paper over and do 1 more fold, kind of right in the center, as center-ish as it can be. All right, now take a look. This has multiple sides with folds. All right, so there are folds along these small sections and fold all along that back. We are going to draw, you don't have to draw, I'm going to draw so you can see. You could just cut, but I suggest the first time draw things. Draw little shapes, right? Maybe some organic lines that you're going to cut out. Again, look, I'm going along the folded edge just down towards the bottom as well. So along the long fold and along the small folds. Not against the open sides you could, but they may not be symmetrical if you do that. So now you're going to take your time and you're going to cut. Take your time. I sped up the video a tiny bit, so this is faster than how I actually cut. If you go too fast, you might actually just accidentally cut all the way through your heart. So take your time and cut out small little shapes. And remember, you drew or cut the shapes along areas where there are folds. That's the way we get symmetry and the shapes being repeated. Okay, here comes the great part, the opening up. What do we get? Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. All right, now what can we do with this heart? Well, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Let's take it and maybe put this white heart, that's a snowflake heart, and glue it down to a colored piece of paper. Maybe you get a larger sheet of paper and glue that heart and maybe those tiny hearts you made before down and make a card. Can I make a snowflake heart out of the tiny heart? Why, of course I can. Now, I'm only making one small little cut out of this so you can get the idea. But whatever your hands can do, go for it. Here's another thing you can do. You can take another piece of paper, make a small rectangle, right? I refolded this heart. What I want to do is basically create a heart that's slightly bigger than the one I made so I can glue this down. So if I set it down and then kind of trace around it, but not against the edge, I left a little border. Then when I cut it out, I get the same heart shape because hearts can vary. And when I cut it out, I will have a nice border if I go and glue this down. Basically, here's the idea. I'm showing you some ideas. You know how to cut hearts. You know how to do snowflakes. Get out your scissors, get out your glue sticks, get out your pen, and get ready to maybe make somebody a Valentine. Enjoy. Happy Valentine's Day.